A convicted man apologizes in court for participating in a terrorist organization. Now a Windsor judge must consider his fate. Wanted in Windsor.
We are looking for you. We will not stop searching for you until you are apprehended and arrested.
Police seek the public's help locating these individuals. And moment of closure.
Bringing Stefanie back to life. And we miss him.
A medal once thought lost, back where it belongs.
CTV News with Stefanie Masotti.
Good evening and thank you for joining us on CTV Windsor and AM 800. A Windsor judge must decide if 3 emails to a terrorist group warrants prison time or strict probation in the community. A warning to our viewers, the story contains details that are offensive. A sentencing hearing was held today for a 23-year-old convicted of participating in terrorism when he was 18. Michelle Molesky joining us now with our top story tonight. Michelle.
Stefanie, Seth Bertrand was convicted last August to a single charge of participating in a terrorist organization. Today, an apology to the court for his actions. Seth Bertrand is now 23 years old. Today in Superior Court, he apologized to Justice Maria Caracia for what he did when he was 18 years old. "I understand what I have done. I regret everything. If I could go back, I would," Bertrand said. "I deeply apologize for the fear that I may have spread and for the people that I have hurt." Bertrand sent 3 emails, including a formal application to join the Atomwaffen Division, an organization on Canada's terrorist list. He used his actions in Windsor as examples of his devotion to the cause. Bertrand vandalized the local transgender support office and he harassed a homosexual couple. Both offenses received local media attention, which Bertrand cited in his application. The judge ruled that was good enough to meet the criminal code for participating in a terrorist group. Today, Bertrand's lawyers asked for a suspended sentence of 3 years. Essentially, Bertrand would serve his punishment on house arrest under strict probation. And if he breaks any of the conditions, he would be brought back to court and resentenced for participating in terrorism. The defense argues 3 emails was essentially 2 hours of criminality, and he never took any actions for the Atomwaffen Division. The conduct of Mr. Bertrand reflects a period of extreme immaturity and vulnerability, rather than someone who's entrenched in ideological commitment, the defense asserted. On the flip side, the prosecution is asking for a 3-year sentence in prison as the only way to address the moral outrage for terrorism. Mr. Bertrand said he wanted to help start a race war, the prosecution said. The fact he never received a response to his email was nothing other than fortuitous for public safety. The community will never know if he might have taken action on their behalf, and as such, authorities argue Bertrand should face the harshest of penalties for the offense. Justice Maria Caracia told the court Monday she needs some time to consider her decision and will sentence Bertrand on May 20th. Justice Caracia also did ask the defense to give her a number in terms of a jail sentence should she find that a sentence to be served in the community was not appropriate. The defense said 6 months in jail would be their preference if the judge feels a suspended sentence is not enough and Bertrand's actions warrant a custodial sentence. Stefanie?
Michelle Molesky with our top story tonight. Thank you, Michelle. Windsor police are asking for the public's help to identify 10 suspects through a new public awareness campaign called Wanted in Windsor. The goal, to find individuals wanted on outstanding warrants for serious criminal offenses.
From extortion and drug trafficking to sexual assault and attempted murder. By sharing their names and faces, we can successfully and safely bring these offenders to justice.
The names and faces are Gong Deo Yeo, wanted for attempted murder following the stabbing of a co-worker and assaulting a second co-worker. Preet Kumar Shah is wanted for the alleged sexual assault of a 13-year-old girl. Alassi Al Latif, wanted for allegedly forcing a male victim into a vehicle and transporting him to another location where he was assaulted and threatened. William Zabo Zurzok is wanted for allegedly threatening employees at a bar before fleeing the area
area. He later collided with another vehicle. The driver and passenger of the other vehicle sustained serious injuries as a result. Sean Damsgaard, wanted for alleged drug trafficking within the city. Hammam Falath Abdullah, wanted for allegedly submitting a fraudulent invoice, defrauding a retail car company out of more than $1.5 million. Brooke Lowkey, wanted for allegedly intercepting and altering checks, depositing them into his account in the amount of around $40,000. Adam DaCosta Silva, wanted for allegedly intercepting and altering 3 checks valued at $14,000. Ava Papadopoulos, wanted for allegedly using a stolen credit card to purchase more than $11,000 in gift cards at 2 retail locations in Windsor. Garth Brown, wanted for allegedly stealing $4,000 worth of merchandise from multiple retail locations in Windsor. You can find full suspect descriptions on our website. And if you recognize any of the wanted, contact Windsor Police or Crime Stoppers.
A reminder to always be safe and not to approach any of these individuals if you do happen to run into them.
Acting Deputy Chief of Operations Ken Cribley says the message behind the campaign is clear.
If you are an offender who is wanted in Windsor, we are looking for you. We will not stop searching for you until you are apprehended and arrested.
Windsor police say a 43-year-old man has been arrested after allegedly threatening to shoot paramedics who were helping a woman in medical distress. Officers were called to the 3000 block of Sandwich Street West shortly before 2 a.m. on March 4th. When they arrived, EMS personnel were already at the scene providing care to the woman. Investigators say a man inside the home became aggressive and made threats towards the paramedics. Officers detained the man to ensure the safety of those at the scene, while the woman was taken to hospital for further treatment. Police say officers later seized a Kodiak Defense rifle and ammunition from the residence. The suspect now faces several charges, including uttering threats to cause death, along with multiple firearm-related offenses. Anyone with information is asked to contact Windsor Police or Crime Stoppers. Ontario Provincial Police closed part of Highway 3 in Leamington this morning and into the afternoon following a serious 3-vehicle crash. Police say the collision happened between County Road 45 and Moorside Road, with additional closures in the area of County Roads 31 and 18. OPP say one person was initially trapped in the vehicle and had to be extricated before being taken to hospital. The extent of their injuries remains unknown at this time. Police say the other people involved suffered minor injuries. The investigation is ongoing, and officers say the road remains closed as of early Monday afternoon. Windsor's Integrity Commissioner has cleared Mayor Drew Dilkins of any wrongdoing related to the hiring of his wife for a job with the city. In a report released today, the commissioner found no undue influence, abuse of power, or conflict of interest in the hiring of Jan Deneau as a recreation and facilities project manager for the city. The position was posted in April of 2025, drawing 278 applicants. 3 candidates were selected for interviews, and the city says the top-scoring candidate was ultimately offered the job. According to the report, the mayor and the city's chief administrative officer were not involved in creating the position or in the hiring process. The commissioner also noted the family relationship was disclosed properly. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joined me now for a first look at the weather, and moving into tonight, Gary, gusting winds.
Gusty winds, you're right about that. A clear sky, air quality is good, but we are gearing up for maybe a record-setting temperature disclosed tomorrow officially by Environment Canada as we've reached 20 degrees Celsius as of today. We're in the clear, right? Not so much to talk about here across southern Ontario, but just over the horizon, a significant wave of moisture and energy. Lots of instability could mean first drizzle turning to steady rains, thunderstorms late, developing Tuesday night into a soggy Wednesday. Temperatures stay warm for the next couple days, and then it gets cold enough to see snow again. I'll break it all down for you momentarily. For now, I'll send it back to you at the desk.
Family and friends of a Windsor soldier who served in Afghanistan and died more than a decade ago experienced a moment of closure they never thought would come. As CTV's Sanjay Maru reports, it involves something from his military service that had been missing for nearly 15 years.
An outpouring of emotion for the family of Stefan Jankowski, who deployed to Afghanistan in 2009 for an 8-month tour. In 2011, while back home in Windsor, he died at just 25 years old.
It was PTSD and an accidental overdose. I was more upset with the military sending him home too quickly without seeing how his mental state was.
When Jankowski's comrades prepared his uniform for the funeral, they noticed something important was missing.
I was expecting to find his medal, which we had been awarded in Kandahar, Afghanistan in the winter of 2010, to be in the breast pocket of that uniform. It wasn't. So we searched. And searched for more than 14 years until a collector who specializes in recovering lost Canadian military medals found it and worked to return it to the family.
I just came into possession of this campaign star for Afghanistan, and it is named to Trooper Stefan Jankowski.
During a ceremony Sunday at Legion 644, that medal was presented to Jankowski's daughters, with replicas given out to the rest of the family.
His legacy never ended. It never ended. He's still here and he's impacting so many people to this day after, over a decade.
I didn't really know him growing up, and it's like a type of closure, if that makes sense.
Jankowski served with the Royal Canadian Dragoons, an armored reconnaissance regiment in the Canadian Army. Those who trained alongside him say the soldier they remember was there for his peers.
I'm not a good runner. Steph is a much better runner than me. So during PT, I would get in trouble for being the slowest runner. So he would push me in my back just to keep me going.
And just as he pushed others forward, his friends and family kept pushing, determined to bring this piece of his story home. Nearly 15 years after it disappeared, a medal once thought lost is now where it should be.
I would like to thank the person who found the medal. It's bringing Stefan back to life. We miss him.
Sanjay Maru, CTV News.
Ontario's minister responsible for citizenship and multiculturalism was in Windsor this weekend, meeting with local veterans to talk about how the province can better support those who have served. A roundtable discussion took place at the Legion Branch 594 on Saturday, where veterans shared their experiences and raised concerns about the challenges many face after leaving the military. Minister Graham McGregor says hearing directly from veterans helps shape policy decisions at Queen's Park, noting that there are nearly 150,000 veterans living across Ontario. He says the province has introduced several initiatives in recent years, including free fishing licenses for veterans, property tax exemptions for legions, and a dedicated healthcare helpline, but does acknowledge more work needs to be done.
Better incentives to get them into the civilian workforce easier. Supporting organizations that have members to support more peer support for veterans. That's something that we can do better. We can do a better job of helping them access health care and making sure that first responders are aware of some of the unique circumstances around veterans. That's something that we're working on that we can do better and we will do better.
City of Windsor crews will be out along the EC Row Expressway over the next couple of weeks cleaning up litter and debris. Work began today, starting on the roadside shoulders between Central Avenue and Banwell Road, before crews move west from Banwell to Huron Church. Once the shoulders are finished, crews will shift their focus to center medians. Work is scheduled from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., with rolling lane closures expected along the route. Drivers are being asked and urged to slow down and use extra caution around workers and traffic equipment. Weather permitting, the cleanup is expected to take around 2 weeks to complete. And this takes us to our question of the day. Do you think Windsor needs more roadside cleanup? Go to our website to cast your vote, ctvnewswindsor.ca. Yesterday, we asked if you would support a Chatham-based OHL team. Of more than 800 responses, 56% say no, they would not. In other news, at the border between Turkey and Iran, many are trying to get out of the war zone. It's where we find CTV's Adrian Gobriel with one Canadian family's poignant journey to safety.
An ominous black flag blows in the wind on the Iranian side of the Kapakau border crossing, a towering symbol marking a time of mourning for Iran's late supreme leader. On the ground on the Turkish side of the border crossing, war-weary travelers make their way down this long pedestrian passage as they walk towards freedom.
Super risky, you know.
This Canadian father flew all the way from Vancouver, desperate to reunite with his wife and two young daughters caught in the conflict after they went to visit a sick relative in Iran.
I just need to meet them here safe. That's it.
What will it mean to you to be able to hug your children again?
I don't need anything. I don't want anything in my whole life. I just want to hug them. That's it.
It's been like more than 3 hours that I'm staying here, waiting for my aunt. I'm feeling it, and I think.
Mohammed Asadi flew from Germany to wait for his aunt, a Canadian from British Columbia, who spent the last 10 days trapped in Tehran as airstrikes rained down.
It makes us human beings to be with your family, to help your family when they are in need.
If you're willing to wait.
A team of Canadian consular officers are also on the ground, offering assistance to those making this precarious passage.
The communications are down, the internet is down, so it's very challenging for anyone inside Iran to communicate outside of the country.
This is what many are fleeing. New video today inside Tehran's Shahran oil depot, an apocalyptic scene following a wave of U.S. and Israeli airstrikes. And confirmation that for a second time, NATO has shot down an Iranian missile as it entered Turkish airspace. This as the foreign minister for Iran's supreme leader warns of a long, painful war.
What is important for us is the end of this game. And we are ready to continue that game.
As global powers posture,
we're gonna go home, Vancouver. It's our home.
On this day, a moment of humanity, a Canadian family reunited.
To see him standing there waiting for you, what did that moment mean to you?
Yeah, it's everything. I'm alive for this moment.
To have your daughter back in your arms and you're heading home to Canada.
Peace, home. 2 words.
High five.
Canadians helping Canadians.
When I met you here,
huge relief, huh?
Though some are left waiting into the night, Iranian border agents won't let Assadi's aunt cross with her Canadian passport.
Now she's a lady alone on that side of border in this cold weather.
While some are homeward bound, others wait, hoping a new day will reunite them with their loved ones. Relief for many, heartache for others. The tension here at this border crossing is palpable. The U.S. has raised its travel security alert due to a heightened risk of terrorism and armed conflict right here at this location. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Van Province, Turkey.
We want to hear from you. Do you have thoughts or comments on our stories or have an idea? Text us at 10400. You can also send photos and video. Still ahead on Windsor's News Leader, a new hub in downtown Windsor is opening aimed at tackling food insecurity. And the war in the Middle East is rattling global oil markets, sending crude prices soaring, and Canadians bracing for higher gas prices at the pump.
Start your day with the latest local news. By signing up for our newsletter, you'll get direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
Today's Windsor City Council meeting moved quickly through its agenda. The meeting only 8 minutes and produced just one item of interest. Councillor Fred Francis inquired about the Parks Canada negotiations. He and council were hoping to have an update last month. The city is interested in the land bordering Ojibwe Park to enhance the Ojibwe National Urban Park and is hoping to unlock $36 million in federal funding to help buy the land. Windsor's Community Service Commissioner Mike Chandler says administration has heard back from Parks Canada and are happy with what they heard. That information is expected to be shared in camera at the next council meeting.
We've been fighting hard on this for a very long time, a lot of people. So if we're able to move forward in this and unlock those funds that are already there in that account, 36 million, to purchase more land, to add to the Ojibwe Prairie Reserve, safeguard that forever and a day, that'd be a huge win for this community, and that's what we're trying to do.
A new venture by Feeding Windsor Essex is helping to tackle the issue of food insecurity. They've opened a new center they feel is at the heart of the issue. CTV's Bob Belichico shows us where the new setup is and how it will help.
12 years ago was just changed my side of the street, and I've just been blessed to be able to be on a lot of streets by now.
Roger Fordham, Executive Director of Feeding Windsor Essex, has opened a new center for food insecurity at this apartment building on Glengarry Avenue at Wyandotte. The goal is to feed thousands of people who could use a bite to eat and a welcoming place to visit.
You know, if you go 5 blocks, 5 blocks, 5 blocks, 5 blocks, you know, you're right in ground zero. So that's the greatest place to have it.
The 3,500 square foot space became available and is hosting an after-school soup program, coffee house 3 days a week, a community meal on Saturdays, and a pet food bank on Wednesdays. The goal is to offer up to 7 programs.
I mean, there's a lot of services in this community to help people, but you almost have to have an MBA to know where they all are and what time they are and how do I get there and so on.
The United Way will have an office on site, and Matthew House will have staff available at the center as well.
We thought it'd be a great opportunity for Matthew House to be able to provide support for refugee claimants.
Executive Director Mike Morency says Matthew House gets phone calls from refugee claimants downtown who need settlement support.
1 half day a week, possibly 2 half days a week, to be able to meet refugee claimants in the downtown core without them having to come out to either our office in Forest Glade or in the West End.
Fordham says the new center will also have a grow station for 450 plants, and the plan is to teach visitors how to do the same for themselves.
I want to demonstrate things about food security, and a grow where you eat model is very important.
At some point, Fordham will have staff training people on how to use grow bags for self-sustenance.
We want to create capacity in the community to access food, to do it in a dignified way, to help build people up.
Bob Belichico, CTV News.
Turning now to the huge disruption of the global oil supply, with gas prices spiking and world economies, including this country's, at risk. CTV's John Vanavali Rao on the financial fallout and Canadians feeling pain at the pumps.
With pump prices well north of $1.50 in Toronto, drivers are feeling the wartime pinch.
$1.55. It's a little bit scary.
Yes, it is hard.
Concerned only so much we can do from here, right?
And many wondering what happens next.
Are you worried about it going higher?
Oh, absolutely. Like the world going on like this.
Following dramatic scenes over the weekend, including attacks on oil infrastructure in Iran and the Gulf states. Overnight Sunday, the price for a barrel of Brent crude jumped almost 30% to just under $120 US per barrel, before falling back to around $100 this morning. In response, North American stock markets opened lower, an initial sea of red, with traders fearing a lengthy supply disruption.
The longer this occurs, the more difficult it becomes for global oil markets.
The near shutdown of the vital Strait of Hormuz continues to worry traders, and major suppliers like Kuwait, Iraq, and the UAE have begun to cut production, unable to move oil, with one well-known price forecaster thinking gas prices could go up another 8 cents by midweek.
And every other day after that, probably 2 to 4 cents a liter until we get right to next Sunday.
Meanwhile, G7 nations have for now decided against releasing emergency oil reserves to ease supply concerns. After a meeting of G7 finance ministers, they wrote, "We will continue to monitor the situation," adding, "We stand ready to take necessary measures, including stockpile release." While as a major producer, Canada does benefit from higher oil prices, they can also lead to higher food and air travel costs, stoking inflation. Meanwhile, gas price expert Dan McTagg says if oil prices were to hit $140 US, he thinks the price at the pump could jump 40 cents or more. John Vanavali Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
Meanwhile, MPs are debating the Iran war in the House of Commons tonight, a chance for all parties to present their position, which includes criticism of the Prime Minister's approach. CTV's Abigail Beeman reports.
Mark Carney and Donald Trump spoke Sunday afternoon, including about the Middle East, the Prime Minister's office saying they agreed to stay in close contact. The situation in Iran high on the Prime Minister's agenda, but he isn't planning to attend a debate on it in the House of Commons tonight.
We met with the incident response group yesterday with the Prime Minister and 5 or 6 ministers.
The Defence Minister acknowledges the concern NATO could be drawn into the conflict and says Canada also watching closely the decisions by other NATO allies to assist countries in the area.
The Iranian war now, the incursion led by Israel and the United States, has a bearing on fundamental questions like ammunition supply. It also has a bearing on the situation in Ukraine. So we are cognizant of that, watching it carefully.
The Canadian position has been unprincipled, it's been contradictory, and it's been incoherent.
The Liberal government facing criticism for its evolving position, beginning with stronger support than some allies for the initial airstrikes and then calling for de-escalation.
It's hard to know what's the current position of the government.
No Liberal MPs were critical publicly today as they reconvene for the first time since the war began.
We are here to work collaboratively and quickly with the Prime Minister and the government to turn rhetoric into results.
While the opposition leader accused Carney of pandering in all directions as he called for a different emergency debate about what Pierre Poilievre terms an emergency energy production plan.
Our allies are desperate for energy that does not come from the Middle East or Russia. High oil and gas prices present an enormous opportunity for Canada, which has the 4th biggest supply of oil in the world.
MPs gather to debate the ongoing situation tonight, while Liberals will have a chance to air their views behind closed doors at their caucus meeting Wednesday. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
New data shows liquor store sales dropped again for the 4th straight year. Sales at liquor stores fell 1.6% to $25.8 billion in the 2024-2025 fiscal year. That's the biggest drop in the 20 years that Stats Canada has tracked the data. Sales of beer, wine, and spirits were all down. This all comes after a number of studies and polls have been showing that younger generations are drinking less. Canada's main stock index reversed course to finish in positive territory. In Toronto, the TSX gained 106 points. In New York, the Dow added 239. The Nasdaq is up 308. The Canadian dollar rose 1/5 of a cent today. On commodity markets, gold fell $55 an ounce, but oil gained $3.87 a barrel. A frightening moment in Beverly Hills. A woman under arrest after police say she fired an AR-15 at the home of pop star Rihanna.
Let's look at our CTV News weather snapshot. Thanks to Jerry Woods for this submission. Hey, birds are back. Obviously, it's mild, and it's getting milder. We'll see if rain puts a damper on things. Pun intended, of course. Look, the weatherman said a joke. There's no joking about the rain and thunderstorms coming. Next on CTV News Windsor.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app.
Gorgeous day today, but rain is on the way. Gary joins me again to talk a little bit more about the forecast. Gary.
I will touch on that. Windy, beautiful in terms of the sunshine, very warm, could see records set. But we have a big contest, and it is the Money Mayhem contest. Of course, you want to know the important digits. The PIN number for tomorrow morning, 0638. That's 0638. Enter it now at ctvwindsor.ca and listen to Mike and Meg's morning show, of course, on the AM 800 at 8:37. And they might be calling your name to play. Okay, so we're playing with warm air. Reached 20 degrees today. Look at the almanac, right? Well above seasonal. Could it reach 21.5 degrees Celsius? That record was set at a weather station officially in Riverside in 2016. Whew, wow, that's That's really impressive, right? 20 degrees above seasonal. Air quality is good. Clear sky for the most part, so nothing to see there. It has been a windy day. In fact, wind gusts through the supper time hours, 6, 7 will be in the 50 to 60 range. We're still gusty. At least through to tomorrow. At times, we'll see 40 to 50 kilometer per hour winds. Lots of green on this map to indicate the warmer temperatures. 15 degrees in Chatham, Canada is above seasonal. That's 59 degrees Fahrenheit under clear skies. Just warmer in Windsor, Essex in this round, 20 or 68. You can see the demarcation point between warm air and cold air across North America, right? We certainly are in the warmth in the lower Great Lakes. We do have some rain cutting across parts of upper Michigan, headed towards Georgian Bay, and of course Manitoulin Island getting into it. But for the most part, it's quiet in southern Ontario until tomorrow. Scattered showers, early morning fog, then rains late, thunderstorm potential, and more rain. There's a special weather statement in place right now, which could turn to a rainfall warning in the next 24 hours, expecting 20 to 40 millimeters of rainfall developing late as the system moves through Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning and throughout a soggy Wednesday. We are mild but increasing cloudiness tonight, 14 degrees and clear at 8 p.m. Cloudy and 10 degrees, that's mild, to start things early tomorrow morning. Take a look at our Intercare style 7-day forecast. The probability stats much higher than 40 degrees. That should be closer to 80. 18 is the high. Thunderstorms in the afternoon. Expect it to be quite wet. Wednesday, 12 degrees. That's 80 degrees there, not 680, of course. 40% chance of then seeing a mix on a cool Thursday of 5 degrees, 6 degrees of mix on Friday. Cloudy with flurries and a mix of rain showers Saturday, Sunday. 3, then 2, then 0 is our high a week from now, and it's cloudy.
Prescriptions for ADHD medication among adults have doubled since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. A recent study published in the Canadian Medical Association Journal found more than half of adults in Ontario who got a new prescription were women, with the median age being around 31 years old. The study's authors say the trend is likely influenced by greater awareness of adult ADHD and better access to care after years of undiagnosed of the disorder in women. A woman is facing an attempted murder charge after police say she fired several shots towards the Los Angeles home of pop star Rihanna on Sunday afternoon. The Los Angeles Fire Police Department say the shooting happened around 1:20 when between 5 and 7 shots were fired, striking the home's outside gate, but not the house itself. Police say people were inside the residence at the time, but no injuries were reported. Officials later located a woman in her 30s and took her into custody without incident. She has since been charged with attempted murder and is being held on bail set at $10.2 million. New technology is helping scientists bring a 30-foot marine reptile back to life millions of years after it disappeared. A two-day expo celebrating female entrepreneurs took place this weekend in LaSalle as part of International Women's Day events across Windsor, Essex. The second annual Windsor Essex IWD Expo at the LaSalle Event Center brought together more than 100 women-led vendors and businesses from across the region. The event featured everything from fashion and beauty to art, wellness services, and handmade goods. Live Lightning Talk shared stories of entrepreneurship, leadership, and resilience, while a Pitch Like a Queen contest have entrepreneurs the chance to present their ideas to an audience. Organizers also collected feminine hygiene products and other essentials for local women's shelter. This year's event expanded on last year's inaugural expo, which ran for just one day.
We wanted to host this market so that we can bring strong, beautiful women who own incredible businesses here in Windsor all together to celebrate them and to bring their businesses to life. There's a huge community of women-owned businesses here in Windsor, and we just wanted to bring them all together so they had the opportunity to meet new clients, sell products, and have an incredible International Women's Day.
A new survey finds most Canadians would like to see Andrew Mountbatten Windsor removed from the line of succession. The former prince had been stripped of his titles and evicted from his royal residence over his relationship with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. However, he remains 8th in line for the throne. A new Angus Reid poll finds nearly 85% of Canadians want that to change. The strong feelings are in contrast to 50% of people who say the royals are not relevant to them personally, while 25% say they are becoming less relevant over time. A major project is underway at the Canadian Fossil Discovery Centre in Manitoba. The facility is using new technology to reconstruct a marine reptile which lived millions of years ago. CTV's Alex Karpa has the details.
This is what we are doing, scanning in 3D all the bones.
At the Canadian Fossil Discovery Centre, Adolfo Quatara and his team have undertaken a process unlike any other.
The scan is being made in two parts.
They are reconstructing and assembling a 30-foot Styxosaurus species, a long-necked marine reptile that lived during the Cretaceous period roughly 80 million years ago.
So the plan is to 3D scan all these remains, all the fossils, all the bones, the vertebrae, the flippers, the skull.
This is how the process works. Each fossil fragment is carefully scanned into a computer, digitally reconstructed, and then brought back to life using 5 3D printers. The pieces are assembled into a full skeleton for display.
We were able to reconstruct this way the first skeleton in barely 5 months.
The center houses a collection of around 20,000 fossils. It is the only institution in North America that does the entire process in-house, from discovering and excavating these fossils to recreating them and putting them as a model on display.
All these bones in the neck here, those were all originals.
Jerry Peters is the resident fossil hunter at the center, which houses the largest collection of marine reptile fossils in the country. He says reconstructing ancient creatures once took years, but new technology is dramatically speeding up the process.
But it's really cool to see these old dusty bones that I'm finding in the ground take shape into, what we're seeing here.
Quatara says his team is already starting to work on another model.
This is going to be a never-ending project because we have thousands of incredible fossil specimens and collections.
Work that he says is beneficial in understanding what life was like millions of years ago. Alex Karpa, CTV News, Morden, Manitoba.
This is your CTV Windsor, our community calendar. Menstrual hygiene products are one of the most requested, yet least donated items at food banks and shelters. Help us change that with Period Promise, Tuesday, March the 10th. See you next time on Our Community.
It's time to check in on what's happening now with Melanie Kentner. And Melanie, you have more from the friend of an Afghanistan veteran that we heard from earlier today. A very emotional story.
That's right. So earlier in the show, we brought you the story of a Windsor family who received the long missing military medal belonging to Trooper Stefan Jankowski. The Afghanistan veteran died in 2011 while back home in Windsor at the age of 25. One of the soldiers who served alongside him described his friend as a top performer in training with elite physical ability, someone he believes could have gone on to special operations or even Olympic competition. He adds Jankowski's story is also a cautionary one, a reminder that the wounds of war are not always visible.
I consider him and will always consider him, along with our other comrades who have since died, as tragedies and victims of Afghanistan. I consider them casualties. They may not be recorded in the official numbers, but they are casualties of the war. Sometimes the war follows you home.
We've got those details and more online at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
And we also have an online story about an alleged drunk man who is now facing charges in Chatham.
Yeah, so police say it started when the intoxicated man was asked to leave a local establishment. It took place around 1 a.m. Saturday morning on Grand Avenue East. Police say the man became agitated and assaulted a staff member at the business. He was later apprehended, then allegedly assaulted a police officer at headquarters and caused damage to a holding cell. You can see the list of his charges on our website. And in our social spotlight, this one's for the golfers. Well, no surprise, the internet is fawning over this little one, but the fawn only has eyes for one golfer, Nick. The poster says the deer's mom was watching from a short distance away. So I don't know, what would you do in this scenario?
I'm going to do exactly what this golfer did, grabbed a camera. That is so adorable. I'd be so tempted to pick it up. I definitely don't think that would be the best idea.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's
just
so
taking video
adorable.
is the best option for
I
sure.
know, so adorable. Okay, if our viewers at home have a cool video like this one, how can they send it to us?
Yeah, they can email us at newsnow@bellmedia.ca or text it to 10400.
And that's what's happening now. Thank you, Melanie. A Canadian robotics company is betting its latest humanoid robot could soon be helping businesses with repetitive work. Some of our colleagues here at CTV Windsor taking a walk around the block today. It is the perfect day to do it.
The blue sky. Well, it's a bit windy out there. That's the only caveat to today's story. But the blue sky, the air quality is excellent. Let's take a look at our 7-day forecast. Highs and lows expected. After tomorrow's 18 degrees, we're going to go down to 12, and then we'll be 0 degrees a week from now. More on that in just a moment. The big deal will be the strong gusty winds tonight. Warm tomorrow, early fog, late day rain, and a very soggy Wednesday, 20 to 40 millimeters of rainfall. We're anticipating maybe even a rainfall warning with special weather statements in place. Then we're going to look at a wintry mix of weather Thursday through to Monday of next week. Big transformation taking place across the continent. So cold air is coming after this short warm-up, and we might have a temperature record or two today officially declared tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Gary. So what is going on tonight? We are heading to Amherstburg.
Yeah, CTV's Robert Lothian is in Amherstburg tonight where council's meeting. Among the many things they're going to be discussing is the cost of recruiting doctors and how much of that cost should come from taxpayer money. There's also this wild story out of Owen Sound from over the weekend. I'm not sure if you guys saw this. 23 anglers were out on the ice for a day of ice fishing when the ice broke off and floated away. We have video from the fishermen themselves. All this and more tonight at 11.
Yeah, that was an incredible story. Okay, finally tonight, an Ontario company is showing its humanoid robot, which it hopes will be able to start assisting businesses as soon as next year. CTV's John Valley-Rao takes a closer look at what a section of the Canadian business landscape hopes will be a robot revolution.
So this is MH3. This is our third generation humanoid.
Tariq Rahim was happy to show us his company's most recent humanoid, a made-in-Canada machine with arms, hands, and a head.
But this is purely Canadian. 100%, yes.
Developed in Cambridge, Ontario by Mercy Robotics, the goal is to start putting the so-called MH3 to work next year, initially doing repetitive and mundane jobs in industrial settings. The robot has vision and can locate and lift objects like this water bottle, placing them precisely where they need to go.
And that sounds simple, but it's actually very technically challenging to pull off.
And amid an explosion of AI-driven advancements, Rahim thinks something bigger than the automotive revolution is about to hit.
I can't wait for what's coming ahead. It's really exciting.
Recently, Kung Fu robots in China became a viral sensation, a flashy example of how fast the technology is moving. There have also been test projects with humanoids in the home, though many still need guidance from operators off-site. And it was recently announced that several of these people-like robots will begin working at a Toyota assembly plant in Woodstock, Ontario. They were built by a company based in Oregon.
It has been wild. The amount of interest and investment and competitors that have just emerged in the last 2 years has been mind-blowing.
Raheem has been working on robots for almost a decade, starting with this earlier humanoid, and now arriving at a third version that notably doesn't have legs.
Why not legs?
So legs actually don't make a whole lot of sense. They chew through power just standing, and they're inherently unstable, whereas wheels give you triple the battery life, and you cannot easily knock this guy over.
Mircy has around 10 employees, but plans to double that. All of the major components are built in Ontario. And with China surging ahead, Raheem thinks the federal government should do more to support the sector.
Now we're just seeing this tremendous growth because of all the interest in the industry.
With Mircy hoping to mass produce its own robot in the coming years. John Venevalley-Rouse, CTV News, Cambridge, Ontario.
Wow, incredible. Gary, as you said, what happens if there's stairs? How are they going to go up and down the stairs?
Problem. Yeah, well, it's true. And now, of course, those particular robots on wheels will be dedicated to areas where they won't encounter that. However, everyone out there has kids. Let's get them programming. I'm telling you.
Travis, your thoughts on that?
If they can do laundry and dishes, I'll see about how much they cost.
Agreed. And for those purposes only.
Yeah.
On behalf of our dedicated team here at CTV News Windsor, thank you for watching.
For updates throughout the evening, go to ctvnewswindsor.ca.
Gary and I will be back with your only late local newscast at 11.
Good night.
Unless I'm replaced by a robot.
Yes.